holy city for three of the world's great religions and center of contention in the long struggle between the Arab and Israeli people. Mr. Armstrong travels frequently to this pivotal city.
Well, I think I've met every prime minister of Israel since 1968 and every president.
Well, I'm sure that all of them, including myself, appreciate very much
what
you are doing for this city, old and new, to excavate, to participate, and God bless you.
How do you foresee conditions here in the Middle East now, in the immediate future?
I think we have a chance to break through the wall of belligerency. It's a very complicated business, but after a very long interval, there is a chance, and I think it is for us responsible people not to miss it. Not to miss it.
Do you think that...
Mr. Armstrong discussed the problems that the Middle Eastern leaders face in their quest for peace, including the role of Israel's close neighbor, King Hussein of Jordan.
I think the king knows where he wants to arrive, but he didn't find yet a way to do so.
I know he would like to have peace with you.
I think so. Yes.
I think last time I saw him was 2 years ago, and Mr. Begin was prime minister. I said to King Hussein, I would like to bring Mr. Begin over here in my airplane and have you come out to the plane, and my crew and myself and all of us would leave and leave you two on the plane and get acquainted. I know Mr. Begin well enough. I believe he would be glad to do it. Yes. And I know you would too, Your Majesty, if. And he began to laugh and he says, yes, you're right, I would, if. But he would like to, if he could.
I think so, yes. I think that he has his eyes set on peace, but he has to negotiate many difficulties.
I hope you have the breakthrough that you spoke of.
We shall try very hard.
Thank you very much.
We owe it to our friends and to our posterity. We owe it. We shall try very hard.
Well, I can tell you this much. We're going to have more troubles all over the world. In the end, we're going to have world peace. It isn't going to come right away, though. And it isn't going to come easy.
Jerusalem is a city that has rarely known peace. Human passion and religious fervor ensure that prophecy must take its inevitable course. And in the hills and valleys that surround Jerusalem, civilization will be brought to its knees. But God's work can focus on the future, when Jerusalem will be the center for worldwide peace and cooperation. Through the Ambassador Foundation, Mr. Armstrong has worked with Jerusalem's leaders to provide centers where Jewish and Arab children can learn to live, play, and work in peace. It is a significant effort, showing in a practical way that peace can never come until a generation of children have been prepared for a way of life other than war. Mr. Armstrong worked with Mayor Teddy Kollek in supporting the children's playground in Liberty Bell Park that was established during America's bicentennial. In recognition of his contribution to the welfare of the city's people, Mayor Teddy Kollek presented Mr. Armstrong with a token of appreciation.
Yeah. Well, President Armstrong, all your life you have been a fighter of giant lies and of giant untruth. And as you regard yourself a descendant of David, and rightly so, here in the city of David, we would like to present you with this symbolic sculpture in silver and gold of David with his slingshot defeating Goliath. The stories of the Bible are better known to you than to anybody around this table, but here it assumes particular symbolism and particular content. And Mr. Ravid reminded us of the children storming you and appraising you for what you did there, or if it's the very recent contemporary history of helping ICCY with their daily programs. And I'm sure you'll continue with many of these things, but here we are mainly to thank you and proffer you this symbolic gift, which says it all just by looking at it. Thank you very much.
Mr. Armstrong then reminded his hosts of the key role that Jerusalem plays in world events, now and in the future.
Jerusalem is a city with a very remarkable history, more than almost any other city. The eternal God himself says that this city is destined to become the greatest city in the world, and in fact in the whole universe. This city is someday going to be the capital of the universe, because this city is going to exist forever. It may still undergo some more changes, but it's going to endure. And you can't say that of any other city on earth.
Christ's apostles first preached the gospel to the people of Jerusalem nearly 2,000 years ago. Those first apostles traveled thousands of miles on foot, on horseback, and by sailing boat, preaching the gospel of the kingdom of God throughout the Roman Empire. Today, the message is the same, but the end-time work has a means of transportation that makes it possible to travel more miles in one day than a lifetime of voyaging in the first century. The first airplane to be used by Mr. Armstrong was a Falcon fan jet. This was replaced by the larger and longer range Gulfstream II. The G-2 served the work faithfully for 14 years, logging more than 3 million miles. In 1983, it was decided to replace the G-2 with the similar but greatly improved Gulfstream III. The G-3 was built at the Gulfstream Aerospace Assembly Plant in Savannah, Georgia. Once the mainframe has been assembled, the thousands of parts that make up a modern jet aircraft are carefully installed. The aircraft's systems are thoroughly tested before it leaves the production line.
Roger, Gulfstream 417. Power levels to idle.
Levels and idle, Roger.
Okay, start your dry crank.
Right engine motoring over, combine flight utility coming up.
Roger, select landing gear up. The landing gear up is locked. Observe hydraulic readings as follows. Combine 3,000 pounds, utility 0, flight 1,500.
Gear up, systems read as noted, ready to proceed.
Aileron, rudder, and elevator operated while applying wheel brakes, ground spoilers, and thrust reversers.